Hello everyone. If you are new to my channel, my name is Jenny from Speak Fluent with Jay. In today's video, we're going to be showing you 4 tips to help you improve your score in your Celpip writing task 2. As you already know, your task 2 is requiring you to respond to a survey question where you would always have 2 options to choose from. There would be option A, giving you a topic, and then option B, you have another topic. You're required to pick one option that you prefer and give reasons for your choice. The good news is, whichever option you choose or whichever option you pick is actually correct. Pick the one you feel you have more points to talk about or more ideas to make your response to be fully developed. It doesn't matter which one you pick, just pick the easiest one for you to fully write about. Now we're going to talk about 4 tips that will help you. The first is address your email to a recipient if there is one. Address your email to a recipient if there is one. What this means is some survey questions is coming directly from someone you know, maybe like your boss or maybe your landlord. The question might be, your boss is carrying out a survey at the office, or your landlord is carrying out a survey, or your child's teacher is carrying out a survey. You already know those people, right? So if the email has a recipient, you should address your survey to a person. That means if the survey is coming from your boss, you'll be saying, "Hi Jill, hi David, hi Marshall." You are addressing the email to a person, a particular person. However, there are times when the email is not coming from a particular person. Maybe it's coming from an organization or someone you're not very sure of. Sometimes the questions could be, the local community is carrying out a survey. Of course, you don't know who the email is going to. Or the government is carrying out a survey. You're not sure who this email is going to. In that case, there is no need for you to address it to anyone. You shouldn't address it to anyone. Instead, just go straight to the point. That means there will be no hi, there will be no hello, there will be no greeting, no salutation of any kind. Go straight to the point. So the rule is, if the email is coming from someone you know, or if there's a recipient, address the email to the person. But if you are not sure who this email is coming from, then there will be no need to address it to anybody. Just go straight to the point and start answering the email as soon as possible. Point number 2 is how you should write your first paragraph. After your greeting, of course, if there is a need for it, after your greeting, the very first sentence in your survey should clearly state your preference. Clearly tell us what your preference is. I would prefer option A. In my opinion, option B is a better option for us. Option A is a far better choice. Clearly tell us your preference from your first sentence, which is your first paragraph. Tell us what your preference is clearly from your first statement. That should be your first paragraph. It's also important to include how many reasons you have to support your point. I would prefer option A for the following reasons. I would prefer option B for at least 3 reasons. Tell us how many reasons you have to support your point. Also, you can choose to include your first paragraph to your choice. Your first reason, you can choose to include it to your first paragraph, or you can decide to write it on a paragraph on its own. There's no rule about that. What this means is, I would prefer option A for the following reasons. Firstly, you add your first point, your first reason to it. It's completely acceptable. Or I would prefer option A for at least 3 reasons. Then you start another paragraph to tell us what your reasons are for preferring option A. That is tip number 2. Clearly tell us from the onset, from your very first statement, your very first paragraph, what your preference is. Point number 3 is Clearly divide your paragraphs. This falls under organization of ideas. Each of your reasons should be written in a paragraph on its own. For example, you have 3 reasons to support your survey. That means your survey should have at least 3 paragraphs. 1 paragraph for 1 reason. Once you're done talking about it, you move on to a new paragraph and state your second reason clearly. Now, under this point of stating your reasons in different paragraphs, one thing you should know is use a good topic sentence. I don't know if you know what a topic sentence is. A topic sentence is that first sentence of every paragraph that tells the reader what your entire paragraph is going to be about. So your topic sentence should be your first sentence in every paragraph that clearly states your reason. Tell us your reason, and then you go on to explain it later. Your topic sentence should be very clear. Whatever it is you've written in that first sentence, which is your topic sentence, should be what your entire paragraph would be about. So your topic sentence should not say something different and the paragraph is talking about something different. Your work will not be organized in that manner. So clearly use your topic sentence to tell us what reason you want to discuss in that paragraph. Once you're done talking about it, you move to another paragraph to talk about the next point. The last tip for today is use transitional phrases to help the readers follow through your ideas, follow through your response. Use transition words and phrases. There are tons of transition words you could actually use, tons of them. You can go online and browse transition words and learn how to use them. During your practice, you can start practicing so that on your exam day, you don't find yourself looking for transition words to use or you are using them inappropriately. For example, I would prefer that everyone should be required to eat only in the kitchen for the following reason. Firstly, that word firstly is a transitional phrase or it's a connector. It's helping the reader follow through your ideas. So we can use transitional phrases within sentences and to connect paragraphs. For example, I want to talk about my second reason and I start a new paragraph. I'm going to say, secondly. When I write secondly, it gives the reader the idea that I'm done talking about the first point entirely and now I'm starting the second point. That's why I started with the expression secondly. There are tons of transitional words or phrases like additionally, however, on the other hand, also, in addition, moreover, therefore, tons of them actually. You can start browsing and use them every day as you speak to your friends because you're still gonna need this skill in your speaking. As you speak to your friends, as you go about your daily activities, try to use transition words and phrases so they become a part of you. On your exam day, it becomes really easy for you to use them. So the 4 tips we've talked about today is first, address your email to recipient if there is one. The rule of thumb is if you know who the email is coming from, then address it to the person. But if you ever forget, if you are not sure, should I use an address? Should I not? Should I use or should I not? If you ever find yourself in that state where you're confused if you should use one or not, it is safe not to use it at all. You wouldn't get penalized for not including an email. So when you're not sure if you should include an address or not, don't do it. Don't do it. Tip number 1, address your email to a recipient if there is one. If there is none, go straight to the point and start your survey. Tip number 2 is clearly tell us from the onset, from the beginning, what your preference is. From the beginning, clearly tell us, I would prefer, in my opinion, this is a better job, blah, 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 blah. Clearly tell us what your opinion is from the very first sentence of your survey. Point number 3 is, what was it again? Use transitional words and phrases to help the readers follow through your response when you're writing. It helps them, okay, you're connecting these ideas together, or you're done talking about this point, you're moving to another one. Use transitional words and phrases. This right here is very important. It can never be overly emphasized. It is very, very, very important. And then the final point is organize your ideas, where you write different points in different paragraphs. For example, you're giving 3 reasons. All your 3 reasons should be written in a different separate paragraphs. You're writing 4 reasons. All 4 reasons should be written in 4 different separate paragraphs. Okay, so if you try to practice these 4 tips, of course there are a lot more not complicated ones, simple things you already know how to do in real life. Maybe you just have to pay conscious efforts to make sure you're getting it right. There are a lot more tips from where this came from. However, practice this 4 as you write. You can always send us your work for, you can help you check it. If you want us to do that, of course we'll be more than excited to do that. Alright guys, so if you find this video helpful, like, subscribe, and share to your friends. We look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye.